So whoever started that slavery stuff was against the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. So, don't think badly of our founding fathers. I mean, the only reason slavery happened was because there were people that were against the Declaration. Because George Washington, all of them, all these people that led to the start of this, said all men are created equal. And I believe women are included too. But I think what this said was that all men. And so technically, it doesn't matter whether you're black or Hispanic. I think that all people are supposed to have rights to begin with, the way this is worded. I just think they strove off the path. Anyways, I'm just saying this because I don't want to be called a racist anytime I like George Washington or Abraham Lincoln. I don't want people to go, oh, this guy's the R word because he believes in what the founding fathers were doing. I agree with some of the things our founding fathers did, but there's certain things I didn't agree with, like the slavery thing. Anyways, and I don't know which founding fathers did that. I think they were kind of forced into it because the people were liking it. But at a certain point, we kind of turned against it, which is good. But anyways, back to this. Yeah, all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. Which we're losing, by the way. Anyways, that among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Well, they're being taxed to death. Alright, I'm serious. Anyways, that to secure those rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their powers, just powers, from the consent of the governed, the people. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, like when our government starts breaking laws, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. That means that we have a right to abolish, to overthrow the government if we believe it's broken the law. So technically, if we had evidence that the government's corrupt, we have a right to overthrow it legally. We have a right to overthrow the United States government if it becomes corrupted to the point where they're breaking all these laws. Because that's what Hitler did before he went, and I don't know the Jews, I'm Hitler, the people live in the... Anyways, I'm being too loud. Anyways, and they have the right to institute a new government. That's what the Declaration of Independence is saying. Anyways, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. The reason it's saying that in the Declaration of Independence is because I believe the reason it said that is because for small causes you just protest. You shouldn't overthrow a government because of a little cause or a little thing. What it's saying is that, like, if the government's not doing something right and you don't like it, you go out and protest it. You shouldn't overthrow the government for that purpose, because by then, if we had to overthrow the government for every protest and every cause, we could never get anywhere. So it's technically saying for big things, like if the government takes all of our rights away, or if the government pulls something really, really shitty, then we can have the right to overthrow it. And no one can arrest me for this because I believe that to be true. I believe in what the founding fathers have said when they said that all men are created equal. I believe in the founding fathers wanting to have a free country. Anyways, it's saying that, let's see. So I believe that that's the reason it says should not be changed for light and transient causes. That means like small stuff. Like for little causes and stuff. Because that stuff usually goes along with, like, little problems should just go along with the local governments, or the people should just deal with it, or if the government has certain rights taken away, then we should protest. And we should fight back. Not everything should be, oh, let's overthrow the government. Oh, the government's doing this, let's overthrow it. It's not like that. They're saying we should only overthrow the government if it becomes a big problem. Like if it becomes really big. Anyways, it says, back to what it was saying. And accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long trail of abuses, this came from Nicolas Cage on National Treasure. But when a long trail of abuses and usurpations pursue invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism. It is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide, yeah, and to provide new guards for their future security. Yep, let's see. I was right! Yep. Yeah, I was trying to sound like Nicolas Cage and stuff like that. And I thought that was good the way he said that. Before he actually said, I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence. I thought that was funny. Oh wait, I mean, I don't have enough time to... I just think it was funny the way you wanted to steal the Declaration. I just think it was funny. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that. I mean, you know, he was just doing it to save it. I mean, I would want to save the Declaration of Independence too if I were him. I'd be like, I want to save it. But right now, our Declaration of Independence is under threat. So what the Declaration of Independence says, I think it was 2 to 3 lines. They're all saying we have the right to overthrow the government. Look, this one says that, let's see. It is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government. So the Declaration of Independence gives us the right to overthrow it. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, this is just regulation. The government's just putting in regulations. Oh, that's all. That's all they're doing. They're just trying to regulate people who want to overthrow it. Well, the trouble with that is that they're starting to regulate free speech or force us to 10 years in prison. That means we have to get permission from the government. And what if they denied it? What if they denied the registration? Then that pretty much means you can't go against the government. And the Declaration of Independence speaks differently of this. I mean, multiple lines have said pretty much that we have a right to abolish it or alter it. And in order to alter a runaway train Congress, woo! In order to do that, you have to control it. So technically, this is going against the Declaration of Independence. It's going against the belief of a democracy. That if a Congress starts going run away and does whatever the hell it wants to, woo, runaway train, when the Congress starts acting like a runaway train, we're supposed to control it. We're supposed to control the Congress so it stops acting like a runaway train. But you know, groups that believe in this and try to teach or even persuade it isn't just people that want to abolish the government or alter it. This law is stating people who teach in this. So technically, if I believe in the Declaration of Independence, I could go to prison for 10 freaking years. This will probably hurt the ACLU too. I mean, they're gonna throw me in prison if I teach people that we have rights to overthrow the government. That doesn't sound right. This is going against the Declaration of Independence, and it's taking away our rights to free speech. So it does go against the Constitution, not just the Declaration. I think Alex Jones needs to go in and put that too. That it's against the Constitution, because we have a right to free speech, we have a right to religion, our beliefs. So, I mean, you know, like, what if I believe that the government's going too far? Then I have a right to believe that. So, it's going against the Constitution. Because then the government is arresting people that really haven't committed any crimes. I mean, they consider that a crime, but it just doesn't seem right. It goes against the Constitution. Because it says, let's see, when you read some of the sections, it's saying, that, let's see, teaches, advises. So if I even advised that we should alter, control, or overthrow the Congressional Senate, like, if we should just go in there and say, stop trying to give bailout money and all sorts of other crap that our government's doing, just sitting there doing whatever they want, the runaway train, then you go to prison for 10 years. Because it says that a subversive means that, let's see, indirectly advocates, advises, teaches, or practices the duty, necessity, or propriety of controlling, conducting, seizing, or overthrowing the government of the United States. or of this state or any political subdivision thereof by force or violence or other unlawful means. Okay, this sounds like they just don't want people to bomb or they don't want people to do something like very crazy, but well, technically they just keep coming up with more laws. They're already calling peaceful activists terrorists, so what this is saying is that we don't have rights. It's saying we can't teach. Why is it saying teaching? So if I said, I don't like how our government's working with the corporations, I think we the people need to stand up against the government. That might be viewed as subversive. And if that happens, I could go to prison for 10 years. Now, I'm not sure how this works, but apparently Prison Planet feels like it is a threat. Now, if they feel like it's a threat, I feel like it's a threat. I feel like